particularly applicable in our age here. It's called To the United Airlines Signalman Silently Reading the New Testament in an Alcove Under the Extendable Jetway at Gate C9 in Chicago on a morning in April. That's the title. I studied William Blake, by the way, and he wrote these long, impossible things like this too.
And who is the poet?
And it's Brian Doyle is the poet. Sir, that book has absorbed me also, riveted me utterly sometimes, and I'm never sure where exactly to rank it among literary glories. On the one hand, you can, with wry confidence, say that it's the most influential collection of stories ever published. More so maybe than the prequel, though the first book appeared long before the sequel. But on the other hand, you could, with the same inarguable assurance, say that it has caused 1 million murders and been the proximate spark of battles, arguments, debates, tortures, crusades, and other such sins, unaccountable except by the mercy to whom it is assuredly dedicated. In a sense, it is a quest narrative, the tale of a young man on the road, always walking, answering questions with questions, a gnomic guy, fond of odd metaphors, losing his temper here and there, a parabolist, accompanied by what you have to admit is a real chaotic entourage. Fishermen, tax collectors, tent makers, roadies, a few brave women who paid for things and made arrangements, and the crowds. Man, you wouldn't believe the bustle and burble of folks amassing against the fence to catch a glimpse of the guy, to hear a snatch of what he had to say. Remember Zacchaeus hoisting himself into the sycamore tree? There must have been hundreds of people like old Zacchaeus, catching a shred of that voice at the edge of the crowd, going home wondering, and they told someone else who told someone, and he wrote it down a little, that third man, and somewhere along the line, someone brilliant in intent and perhaps inspired by a music we do not have words for, sat down and stitched all these stories together. And then persuaded his sister or his cousin to write a copy, or 7. And those were copied. And because they thought Luke or Matthew, a saintly guy, they named a book after him, and there were debates and fistfights and worse about which books were formally inspired. And eventually there came to be a book which a thin man is reading under the jetway in Chicago. We talked for a moment, the lean man and me, about this remarkable book. I read it each and every day, he said, smiling. And afterwards I thought not only how terrifying it is that a book like this, or the Koran, can lead to the murder of kids, but how astonishing it is, how truly unbelievable that a book can be alive after all these years, can have its fragile pages that one man, dusty and complicated, tart and testy, tired and afraid, unforgettable. So, if you ever think that your writing does not have power, remember those books like that, that have lasted through the years.